Welcome, you guys. Here we are today, very
Hello.
first day that we're going to be focusing on a new feature that we have inside of our community, and that is our featured tutors. And today we are featuring Lisa Ayerst, who is an online math tutor, and she even teaches those math subjects that are pretty darn difficult, like the calculus and those higher level math courses. So I'm super excited to have Lisa joining us today. Welcome, Lisa.
Hello. I am honored to be here.
Yay! Woo!
Th-
And
Thanks for inviting me.
some of you guys are probably wondering, what in the world are we doing here, right? Well, we have this totally new thing. It's called the Professional Freelance Tutors Directory. And Lisa is one of the featured members inside of the directory. And if you are looking, you want to be a member of this directory so that other parents can find you, other tutors can find you, then you will definitely want to click on the link inside of the description. But today we're going to learn a little bit more about Lisa, learn who she is, how did she get involved in this whole tutoring thing, some of the students that she works with, and some advice that she has for others. So, uh, tell us a little bit about Lisa. What was learning like for you when you were a kid?
Oh my goodness. I start off every class in meeting with sharing my story of as a third grader.
Mm.
I struggled with math so bad I had to go to summer school.
Mm.
And I really had a hard time with those multiplication facts. So I understood and understand what it's like not to get it. And so
Yeah.
I had a teacher, Miss Ball, says, Lisa, anyone can be good at math or anything. For some, it just takes a bit longer. So keep at it. And she instilled a philosophy of whether you think you can or think you cannot. You're right. Quote
Mhm.
from Henry Ford. So my math journey started off really difficult. By the time I was in high school, I was on the math team. Was I the
Mhm.
best on the math team? No, but I I got it, and that's what
Mhm.
was so fun about it.
Yeah, it's almost like a puzzle, isn't it? Like once you start really diving on into it, and it becomes fun once you understand kind of the rules and how it works. It can be fun even if you feel like it's not your strength. It doesn't mean that you can't do it. Absolutely everybody
Exactly.
can do it. So when you graduated then from high school, what did you decide to go to college for?
Well, at first I didn't know. And I came from a family of attorneys. And I remember having lunch with my father one day. And he said, Lisa, there's kind of a lot of attorneys. Why don't you get involved in this computer stuff that's starting to come out? And you'd be pretty good at that. So where I went to school at Vanderbilt, the only way to have a computer science degree at the time was to be in the engineering school. That was not for me. So mathematics was a good complement for that, and my father encouraged me to do it. And that's how I got started. And I met my husband in calculus on the second
Mm.
day of freshman year. He was my first tutoring student. That's how I
Really?
got into tutoring. Yes, he sat next to me in calculus, and we had a test coming up, and he said, I could use a little help here. That's how I got into tutoring. That was my first student. And so we, started meeting together. I think it was a ploy, but he made the better grade than I did.
Mm.
And so I did 20 years in technology and computers and became retired from what I was doing, transitioned to be a high school math teacher, and taught at a high school for 15 years. And when I retired, I pulled out the tutoring hat again and got started. And a lot of it has grown through referrals. And you never know where that next uh, client's going to come from on a conversation. I was at a gathering, and one of the workers there was a former student, and he recommended me to somebody else. So it's amazing how your journey takes you, and the path it takes you always leads to more opportunity.
Mhm. Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So you kind of started tutoring early on because you were helping others out and especially like your husband and those kinds of things, which is fun. But when would you say like your tutoring journey started with really like making this like your career and what you wanted to do?
Pretty much upon retirement, that's about 6 years ago,
Mhm.
and, as a teacher, I would help kids periodically and tutor periodically, but it was never a main focus, but when I retired, I thought, I miss working with the students, and so
Yeah.
this became a great way to do that, and then I was doing one-on-ones, face-to-face, and then COVID happened, and, luckily for me, I had already been Zooming before Zooming was a thing,
Mhm.
and because 'cause I'd helped my niece, who lived in another state with her algebra,
Okay.
so I was already equipped for the Zooming, and,
Yes.
it's been great. I love doing it, and I don't think I'm gonna go back to face. I love the online world.
Yeah. What about the online do you specifically love?
Um The focus, I think, is better. Instead of being in a library with a lot of happening, and I can switch gears very quickly. If a student um, needs an extra little something, I've got my laptop open. I've got a lot of things I can quickly pull up, resources, a video, say, hey, let's try this.
Mhm.
So it allows for a lot of flexibility to be able to quickly adapt to what your students needs, and I can
Mhm.
tutor kids from all over the country, and I have. Uh, a student in Colorado, another one in South Carolina. I live in Memphis, Tennessee, so it really opens up a whole new world of opportunity.
Yeah, no longer do you have to only work with kids that are in your zip code. You can work with kids that are all over the world and uh,
Absolutely.
and be able to help them. I think that's one of the pieces that I absolutely love the most is that, there's no shortage of people that you can kind of reach out to and connect with and you get to meet some really incredible families, which is so much fun. So tell us a little bit about like who is your ideal student?
Oh goodness, I thinking about that. The ideal student is one who's willing to work and not
Mhm.
just complete the homework and check things off. One that's willing to put the effort in like I had to do in 3rd grade. Otherwise, I would not be where I am today. Um, a good attitude and a great family support.
Mhm.
It's a partnership with the student, the parent, the teachers, and the tutor. It is a relationship. It takes a village sometimes,
Yes.
and so it really takes that can-do attitude.
Mhm. Mhm. It really does, it really does. And would you say that your ideal student is someone who kinda struggles with math like you did in the beginning?
Oh
They
yes,
they need that person that is just going to kinda like give them that confidence and give them the skills that they need and close that gap for them so that what they're working on in math becomes easier.
I had one, and when I think about a story of the ideal student, I got a phone call from a couple of years ago from a parent about her daughter, and she was struggling in geometry, which was the course I taught, and that's kind of one of my specialties, and was not achieving the results that she had desired, and her confidence was shot. The teacher was not supportive. You're taking, a student who was accustomed getting better grades and just struggled. So she reminded me of my 3rd grade self. So just
Mhm.
needed the additional practice. And she dug in, started working and chipping away. And I love being her coach, helping her with her confidence. And it's not so much the skills that she needed, it's just the support.
Mhm.
The yes, you can do it. And that sometimes I see tutoring more as a coach than teaching a
Yes.
skill. They
Yeah, I
need
do
the
too.
skill, but it's a mind game sometimes. They play with themselves and they psych themselves out of the right answer. And you
Mhm.
go, okay, believe in yourself.
Mhm.
And I'm just so proud of her today. She is making top grades. and was not when we first started meeting.
Aw, that is
Eh,
amazing. To watch them go from, struggling with, with math in itself and those grades to see them get onto the other side of that. There's just nothing like that.
oh, I
What
know,
age
it's so
student do you
exciting.
like? What age student do you like working with?
I typically work with middle school to upper school,
Mhm.
but I'm more in the high school.
Okay.
That's where my strength is. But, I've worked with 3rd graders before. I That was
Sure.
my first classroom, 3rd and 4th graders.
Yeah.
But I really love the high school kids.
We both started in the same place. I started in third grade as well.
Oh, really? Oh,
Yeah, I
fun.
did. Yep, in the inner city. Yep. Yeah, so that's so much fun. And it was a whole new world, that is for sure, that third grade compared to the middle school and the high school, right? It's very
Well,
different.
what is fun was one student I worked with in 3rd grade. Well, he was a 3rd grader. I was already tutor at that point. Is now cycling back and is going to be one of my students in my group class.
Oh, that's awesome.
It
Yay. And you do have a
is.
new group class. So you've been working typically one-on-one with students, but now you've just started using Schoolified and doing a group class. Tell everybody about that.
Yes, it starts today. I have a group of students that are struggle during the school year with Algebra 1, and I think there's some, gaps in their learning because of COVID. So, um, I have, a class, and I had devised a plan that included kind of a hybrid, and Schoolified has been fantastic in helping me get my vision set. And so beginning today, and this week, the kids will have 2 group sessions a week, followed by so they'll be meeting together, followed by an office hour. So they do their assignments while I'm hanging out online with them. And then I've also structured 2 one-on-ones with them.
Okay.
So there's 6 hours a week with this group of students, but it's a blend, and it's going to be exciting. I am looking forward to it. They kind of, maybe it's summer school. I don't know, but
Yeah.
I
It's
know
gonna
what
be
it's
it's
like.
definitely gonna be better than summer school, that's for sure, because they
Oh,
definitely don't have to spend as much
absolutely.
time, it'll be much quicker, yeah.
Unlike the 3rd grade self, where I had to ride my bike to an unair conditioned school and
Yeah.
sit with the teacher in the classroom for 6 weeks every day. Yeah,
Yeah.
very
Yeah.
different. It's gonna be a lot of fun. We get to play some games, and, I'm looking forward to it. But School of Fun has been fabulous in helping me get the structure in place so
Yeah.
that I can meet the needs of the students.
Yeah, and there's a lot of tutors and there's a lot of parents who've never heard of Schoolified because it's a brand new tool that's out there. So tell people who don't know what Schoolified is, explain it a little bit deeper for them.
Okay. Schoolified is web-based app that allows a instructor to create a class, and you can schedule one-on-one tutoring, you can do group classing, and it's got the whiteboard, it's got the video, it's got you can upload documents. It kind of allows you to have one place instead of having to do the Zoom, instead of having to do the bit paper and the whiteboarding. And
Mhm.
it's an all-in-one tool
Mhm.
that is going to allow me to grow and do reach more students by doing the group tutoring. And
Mhm.
you've been fantastic in helping me as my online tutor coach to kind of learn how to do this, because this is a new thing for me to do group tutoring. I've done one-on-one. So
Mhm.
having a system in place like Schoolified is going to really help make the transition much easier.
Yeah. I really do like too with Schoolified, you can make sure that the kids that you're working with are engaged. Like you get notifications if they're not engaged. So it makes it very different than the virtual tutor,
Oh,
like the virtual schooling that the kids had to do when they were in the classroom and doing school from home, right? It's still a very different experience for them because the whole program was actually devised by um Laurent Oppenheim, who had actually watched his own kids go through virtual schooling and was like, "This is nuts." Like, the
oh
fact that
yeah.
these teachers have to go to 5 million different places in order to grab their resources and tools, and, the kids are kind of, like, zoning out and doing all this kind of stuff. He's like, this is not right. Let me devise a tool that will work better for people who want to work with groups of students. And so I think this is such a cool tool to be able to utilize, very different from Zoom. You have that ability to know if your students are on task and doing exactly what they need to be doing. So I think it's awesome that you're like you're in the trenches of like the beginning stages of using tools like this so that you can help larger groups of students be able to close that gap, especially over the summer. That's amazing, amazing, amazing. And I know you're super excited about being able to put it into place. I mean, this has been
I
a
am.
really long time of planning for you, and I'm so excited for you. So, for other tutors that are out there, what is some advice that you have for them, if they're in the like beginning stages of their business?
One thing that as I was getting into the tutoring business and I was sitting in the library watching other tutors, I noticed some of them would sit there and go, okay, what do we have to do today? What homework do you have to do? My advice is don't be the homework tutor
Hmm.
where you are just getting helping them check off an assignment.
Right.
I spend time prior to meetings with my students to understand the assignments from the past week. It takes a little prep time to really be successful and go that extra mile with the students. The parents see it, they recognize it.
Hmm.
They're not dropping their kid off to meet with you or setting up um, working from home for you just to help them complete the homework because a friend can do that with them.
Right.
They're looking for a coach. They're looking for someone to build the confidence. Be positive and upbeat. One thing I did, I sent a message of encouragement. The exams this a couple of weeks ago. I created a little video message and I sent it to all my students to wish them the best on the exam. That got so many great responses, and it made the
Mm.
kids feel, oh, the tutors in my court.
Yeah.
And so just some of those little extra touches
Yeah.
really help you connect with the students because you are online.
Mhm.
If you're online, you're not really, you're there's a screen between you,
Mhm.
and it helps make build that relationship.
Mhm.
And also have a backup plan for your technology. Just as we were beginning, my headphones started going nuts, little things started happening. Have backup plans, extras,
Yes.
if things don't go right, if your Wi-Fi's down, you've got to have a backup plan. And
Mhm.
and then, my advice for the parents is, it's not like I said earlier, it takes a village. Um, I encourage my parents to believe in their students. Some of them are just frustrated when they come to you because little Johnny's not doing well. The grades aren't what he's doing. He's not doing what he's supposed to. Those assignments aren't getting done, and the parents are frustrated. But I encourage them to continue to believe them and be positive. Hold the students accountable.
Mhm.
Too often, particularly with the high school kids, they're kind of often doing their things. Parents don't always really know what they're doing, but make sure their student is the one who's actually doing the work.
Mhm.
That's where some of my students have gone and struggled. They've taken the easy way out. There's so many things on the internet, and I like to make my parents aware. Watch what they're doing on those computers. Computers cannot always be the end all be all,
Mhm.
and help the students be more organized and help them stay the course. So, I advise tutors to kind of be that coach for the parents as well
Sure.
and help. And because so often, particularly with the high school kids, parents just kind of dump them at my Zoom door or my Schoolified door or whatever system I'm going to use. And they really aren't aware that the shortcuts these students are taking and not learning, they're just getting through the homework and it's not working for them.
Yeah. Yeah. And really it's just when you just have a homework helper that is almost just kind of like it's like a Band-Aid. It's not solving the problem, right? And so when you can get deeper, into like what is the specific problem that's holding them back? What concept do they not understand? How can I help them understand that concept better? And how can I close the other concepts that they don't understand so that moving forward, because math is very progressive, it like builds on itself. And so
Exactly.
when we can figure out like what is holding them back, then it makes all of the difference. I love it. Well, thank you so much for joining us today. For people that want to be able to connect with you, what is the best way for them to connect with you, Lisa?
Tutors901.com
Excellent. So
and
definitely go
Facebook
to
as well.
tutors901 and Facebook. Okay, great. Awesome.
And, thank you so much for having me today.
Oh my gosh,
This
you're
has been a lot
welcome.
of fun. It's been a lot of
Yeah.
fun.
I'm really excited that you were able to join us and share a little bit more about who you are. I feel like when other people can get to know each other, whether it's other tutors getting to know each other or other parents getting to know what it is that you do, it opens up lots of opportunities and a lot of doors. And every Monday, we're going to be featuring new tutors. So come on in and join us, you guys. Thanks for joining us today and enjoy
Thanks
the
for
rest of your
having
day.
me.
You're
Bye-bye.
welcome. Bye.